In my D&D game, the new king had just been crowned. The ceremony was simple, but
To the king.
we don't drink beer in the temple.
But I'm toasting the king.
I had to awkwardly remove myself from the knights, bowing to go explain to the druid that those in walls don't respect the rules of those without them. And when that failed, drag her out of the temple. The party then moved from the temple to the castle where we were allowed to drink, and the druid was fast to ruin her intuition. The sister of the king, a princess, arrived for the celebration. With the help of Aldrich, I prevented the elf from approaching in a most undignified stumble. Of course, I wouldn't be reporting to you if nothing went wrong, and the blackness was fast to ruin our optimism. The king was fallen with foam in his mouth. The paladin was faster than me, using his divine energy to heal, and his fingers to force out vomit. The bard shouted to the guards, and soon the room was secure. We began a murder mystery. I look over to the dwarf council member. The dead or alive one. One died? I said that at the beginning. The king was poisoned, and a council member had his skull caved in. Anyways, we never figured out what happened to that one. As for the poison attempt, we tried investigating with Zone of Truth, and the Dungeon Master set a 10-minute timer, giving us 10 in real life minutes to investigate. About 15 people in the room. Now, hypothetically, we could have probably figured it out, but we didn't. And while it might have been me checking the unnamed guards for about a minute and a half, I'd prefer to blame the druid, who used 2 minutes to interrogate the princess, and maybe a small amount blame the 2 minutes we had to cover up for the warlock saying, "I didn't kill this king," immediately after the spell was cast. We were able to push the plot forward after that by casting Detect Magic and noticing necromancy just radiating from a member of the council, who promptly opened 2 portals in the room, one for him, one for the king. Hands from them reached out and grabbed both, making for a quick escape. We were all given an action to act. The party jumped into portals giving chase, and I action surged to also shoot the spellslinger as I slid across the feast into the portal. Nimble dwarf. Okay, he doesn't have an arcane focus, meaning he is casting with some manner of innate power. We need to either cut out his tongue or break his hands fast to disable spellcasting, because if we don't, we are either fighting a powerful spellslinger or he surrenders and maiming him is a war crime.
I surrender.
By limestone, I hope your bones crumble to dust. So we restrained him and assessed where we were. It didn't take much effort to know we were in the Feywild, and while that might not sound bad to you, homebrew lore, the Hells and the Feywild folded in on one another in the distant backstory, meaning there was a very not small risk of demons and devils finding us. Also, in case you were wondering, by the lore of skeletons are animated with demon souls, yes, they are also technically Fey in this set, except of course the new Roma skeletons, which are animated by different means as discussed in episode 2. Please subscribe if you are interested in the wider campaign diary. We are in the Hell with the king, a few guards, our warlock companion who has multiple person. So we are in Hell with the king and 2 restrained others. Remembering the last king's hit points, I thought we should try and beef him up. Do you know False Life? I know Fireball. The paladin went to interrogate our other captive. Open portals back where we will kill you.
My master will bring me back.
So threats and torture won't work on this guy? Yes. Your grace, may I execute him? Also, yes. As the paladin pulled out his legendary blade, the foul warlock's last words were,
No, wait.
The DM explained while he was still willing to die, the blessed blade disables evil forces from resurrecting him. For the war crime counter, no, because he had a trial for treason, under the highest judge in the land, the king, who found him guilty. We began looking for a way out of the Feywild, or anything really to keep us safe. The druid began to get uncomfortable and panicked as the wildlife kept saying we were going to die, but you couldn't really do much but try and ignore them when the problem is the plane of existence you are in. We came upon a town populated by spirits wearing mourning masks. It had an inn where we decided to rest. Night fell fast, less than a minute from light to darkness, and a rumbling began to shake our beds. The paladin drew his sword, and a spirit pushed him to the ground, saying, "Hide the light, hide the light." Demons danced through the streets as we all refused to approach the windows, and that is where that session came to an end. In card comments, I cut a lot of stuff we did in Undead Town because we got preoccupied with disguising ourselves only for the townspeople to not care. We also established Pong the dwarf, probably the oldest in the party, being 80-ish because dwarf, since one of the elves is 18 but lies about being really old, and one of them hasn't established a canon age.